Thursday, November 13th, we've got a good storm going on out there right now. It's going to continue through the evening hours and then linger over the next couple of days. So we'll look at all the models. We've got winter storm warnings in the mountains. Snow levels high right now, but they'll come back down. Wind gusts up to 50 and 60 miles an hour already. Rainfall accumulation in the Marin County watershed, which is where you expect to get a bunch of rain, Mount Tam. They're up over 2 inches of rain right now. We'll visit all of these spots. And we'll look at everything from top to bottom if you need to scrub through and you want to get right to the models. You'll see that in the chapter descriptions below. So this is National Weather Service product. The browns represent basically wind advisories and wind warnings. So the browns. And then this along the Marin County, Sonoma County coastline, down around San Mateo County coastline. Those are wind warnings. So it's windy and it's going to get windier as we go into the next few hours into the evening. Snow levels are pretty high. I've checked up there. The pass levels are dry right now and they should stay dry. When I say dry, they're not freezing. So we're seeing a little bit of rain, but we're not seeing snow on those passes 50 and 80 yet. These are the current wind gusts and there's 54 miles an hour. This is California, right? This is 54 miles an hour up in kind of the Cobb Mountain area. 53 miles an hour up around Susanville in those regions. 40 up around Lake Tahoe. So we are seeing some wind. These are wind gusts. If I back all the way out, it kind of just sparses it out. But you can see there's wind all the way into Southern California. So we got it going on today. We can take a look at rainfall accumulation. Let's do that real quick. These are the rainfall. It's a moving target right now because, well, it's raining. And it's going to keep raining for a while, especially in Central and Southern California. So we already have almost 4 inches of rain in the last 24 hours up in this area. Up, where are we? Point Arena, up around the Russian River, up around Jenner, up around Gualala, you've got almost 5 inches of rain. So this is an extremely moist storm. You're seeing your pineapple connection, if you want to, let's call it that. Let's do it. Let's just call it a pineapple connection, is creating this. And so we're seeing temperatures that are pretty warm as well. This moisture is really just hitting and dropping out now on the coast and in the Central Valley, but the rainfall in equivalence in momentum will pick up in the hills. So we're already seeing up over 3-4 inches of rain. Flood advisories, there are flood watches and advisories for parts of Marin County for the next few hours as this heavier rain runs through. You can see the greens here representing that. Let's look at temperatures real quick. There's so much to do. So much to do today. Let's see. Well, I guess what I want to point out is, look at this. So these are the current temperatures. 48 degrees in Tahoe, 51 in Blue Canyon. So these well above freezing. So all these zones, even these higher zones, these alpine zones, 43, 59. So it's a warm weather system. These are some more of the rain totals, and you get a feel for how it falls out last 24 hours. And the colors, right? California. This map's not super easy to look at, but it does go. You do go. When I look at it, I go, oh yeah, look, bullseye right here. The colors, right? If I come in closer, we can separate out. So good rain. Let's see if I can get that. There we go. Good rain pretty much all around Marin and Sonoma counties. That's why there's a flood advisory there for a few hours today. And San Francisco's already in over an inch of rain. San Jose, you guys are coming in nearly an inch of rain. Santa Cruz Mountains right here, over 3 inches of rain. And then let's see how far south we go. So we kind of end up, Big Sur's got an inch of rain. Wow. And then it dries up. So that's the line right now. It's getting ready to move into Southern California over the next few hours, and then they'll start to get their rain. And their rain is going to be a little different deal. It's going to be a little more. It's going to linger, and so they're going to get 3-4 inches of rain as well. At least that is the forecast. In Central Valley, light rain, no big deal, 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch, but these numbers will pick up as we go throughout the day. So the main line, even Northern California, if we go way up here, there's rain. Well, there's a lot of rain up around. Wow, who are you? Yeah, that's a lot of rain up by Lewiston, Weaverville, almost 4 inches of rain. So that's topographic. Oh, you know what that is? That's the thing we talked about, right? So this is a pineapple connection. So you've got a lot of subtropical moisture. We looked at the temperatures. It's warm. the air gets flowing up. The winds are south, so the air gets flowing up through here, and it hits the mountain ranges right in here. Right, it's a lens. See, it's kind of a lens like that. And so these areas, a southerly wind is going to slam that moisture, kind of get you from a couple angles, and you're going to get a lot of mechanical lifting from the mountains. So when we talk about orographic lifting, that's what we're talking about. So that's why these spots seem anomalous. At least this is my take on this. I noticed it the other day too, and I've noticed it for years actually, but that's my take on this. Is that's probably for this southerly wind's really capping there, because you don't see that whole zone. We're just down here. You go, oh yeah, everybody's wet. You know, they all verify all the numbers make sense. A lot of times when you look at data, not data, well yeah, look at numbers, rainfall, especially rainfall and temperature. You got to look at them with a kind of a soft eye, truthfully, because sometimes you'll see numbers that don't. If there's not a couple other stations around that will help you triangulate and be within a few points of where you want to be, where you should be based on the other two data points, you kind of got to throw out the anomaly. You just do. Okay, so here's the HRRR. We'll start early with it. This is the rapid update model. Love hearing the raindrops too. This can be beneficial rain, by the way. Oh, yeah, I should start off by this. World's not ending. It's winter. It's awesome. Pineapple connection. Gonna be wet. There probably will be a little street flooding. There probably will be some traffic. The commutes are a mess this morning. Southern California, you're gonna see a little bit of less beneficial rainfall, because I think you're gonna get a lot of rain on those Palisade areas, those burn zones. But overall, for this time of year, this is what you want. Fuel moisture's up, soil moisture's up, everything's good, and we can take. My friends at Cal Fire can take a bit of a break. So we can let us not lose sight of what's important here: rain. Now, what we're not getting that's important is snow. We will get some snow, but we want snow that's the bank account for the water that we use in the summer months, right? So the aquifers, the groundwater, I call that our savings account. You don't want to dip into that. The bank account is the Sierra Nevada, the snow that lives up there that we draw on every year. The aquifer, you don't want to mess with that. We already have, right? And hopefully someday we'll get it back to close to where it should be. But, right, so the Sierra Nevada, we want snow. We want to fill that the checking account in the savings. So I meant checking account, not bank account. So savings accounts, aquifer. Checking account is the Sierra Nevada. So here is HRRR rapid update. This is as of 17Z. So this is going to be this midday today. And you kind of see it moving through pretty quickly. 19Z. So coming into the afternoon hours. Yeah, it kind of lingers. This can be a good rain. That's why they issued that flood advisory hour by hour. This is this afternoon. So this is all this morning. This is this afternoon. And it's moving slow, man. That thing is moving slow. Looks like paradise is in the bullseye for this. Look at these areas here. Wow. Okay. And then this is Thursday afternoon today. Right? LA, you're going, whatever, dude. You're going to get some drizzle down here by this afternoon, but it's an overnight into Friday, like we talked about. This is leftover stuff. There could be a thunderstorm embedded in some of this as that cold air starts to push in behind. We'll see. This is, again, Thursday afternoon. And now we're getting into tonight. Wow. HRRR. Today's a wet day, man. Today is a wet day. So that they just showed us all the way through tomorrow morning. And then Southern California starts going tomorrow morning. We're going to look at a bunch of models today. We're not going to just look at that one because I think there's a few different solutions. Here is the cold air. Here's the motor. Let's see if we can loop that. Is it looping? Oh, I didn't want to do that. Dang. Okay, man. Keep playing. Keep playing. There we go. Okay. So... there we go. So there's the cold air. That's the motor. That's the engine. Here's the fuel. And here, so far, is where the heaviest rain has been. Right here, that area we just looked at. And this fuel is really focused from looks like Santa Cruz, kind of, say Bay Area south. And so far, Bay Area got the best hit, but Southern California is going to get this plug of moisture, and then this cold air is going to, see how far south it is? That's going to wrap in. So we'll keep an eye on it. We'll look at it through a bunch of different lenses. I'm going to clip along here so we don't get behind and I get cut off. Sorry about getting cut off yesterday. This is Wairika. I wanted to show you the rain showing up there, the gusts of wind in Wairika, 35 miles an hour. They're already at a ½ inch of rain. And you kind of see a little clearing because they're on the north, sort of the drier side of this storm. Far northern California, Oregon, you're getting rain for sure. And you already have, but the real impact is going to be that San Francisco south as we go into the next 24 hours. So that is, this is Northeast California. That was Wairika. This is Northeast California. And kind of by Bieber, we talked about New Bieber. 30 miles per hour on the wind. And then just about 1/10 of an inch of rain. And this is all in the last hour or so. Yeah, it's happening. That's kind of a high desert. So you don't really expect a lot of rain there, right? Because why? Because they don't have a lot of topography, so they don't have a lot of orographic lifting. This is Mount Tamalpais. These guys win the prize. It's rainfall of up to 2.5 inches and 35-mile-an-hour gusts atop Mount Tam in the last couple of hours. This is Santa Cruz, and you can see what a south wind does to big south wind, 36-mile-an-hour winds. Santa Cruz Mountains has, it looks stormy, doesn't it? Santa Cruz Mountains have over 2.5 inches of rain already. And it's just one of those days, man. So it's a storm. It's our first good one of the year, I think. This is, we've had some other weather systems as well. This is Merced. I want you to see how the valley looks right now. Merced, right, kind of on your way down towards Fresno. And Merced had gusts to 15 miles an hour, and no surprise, 0.2 of an inch of rain. So you can see what happens, right, as you get a little further south and away from coastal hills and away from topography. And you go a little further south and you end up down by Santa Paula. They have 20-mile-an-hour winds, though. So this is the storm trying to get ready to move into Southern California, too. Yeah. And it will. It will. They'll start seeing sprinkles later on this afternoon. And then overnight into tomorrow is going to be a little sketch, so into Friday. And then I think I got the Palisades, because I'm concerned about Palisades just because, this is a bad shot of the Palisades. Let's see if I can go. Sorry, guys. Let's open this up. I think I had a shot here. I thought I did. Yeah, it's kind of the Palisades there. You can see some of the rebuilding going on, but these areas can get a lot of rain, and there's a lot of scarred landscape, if you will. So Palisades just have winds gusts up to 10 miles an hour right now. So here are the watches and warnings from Oregon all the way down to Northern California. It's about the wind. Oregon, look at the rainfall accumulations, 0.45. This is National Weather Service product out of Medford. And then we'll take a look at the Sacramento guys and gals. Sacramento's got an awesome National Weather Service office, you guys. Because I use Weather Service a lot. I used to know all the guys down the Weather Service at all of them. And the Sacramento Weather Service, I don't know. I think it's because they're dealing with coast, bay, and inland. They're supposed to be, they mainly hang in the valley for forecasts in the mountains. But they dip into us, and they really do a nice job. They do a really good job. These are the flood watches and warnings. Flood watch here around Fort Bragg in the hills, and then a flood advisory in the Bay Area with that high wind warning along the coast. This all gets dropped, certainly by tonight, but still, that's some stuff. And then what do we got here? LA, they got the storm warning or gale warning. What's that purple area? That's a high surf advisory. We've had a lot of big surf down there, but the winds are horrible for surf. South winds just mess everything up. And then you see some flooding concerns out around the Bakersfield and Tehachapi. Again, this storm is much needed. So we can't really look at it in terms of, this is bad. Because you'll see that. I'm not busting. It's just the way, it's a texture. I think it started with us in television, probably. All those years ago. I never did it. I tried not to. But, it's not the end of the world. Weather is awesome, and it's what it does, and it's what helps the fish get to the bay to go spawn, or get to the fish get up the rivers to spawn. Plants, animals, bugs, it's part of the deal, man. And so if we have, these are the forecast highs for today. Oh, and by the way, that's pretty warm, right? Reno 49, Chico 64, and it's raining. This is some tropical air masses, right? This is a pineapple connection. And then this is tomorrow. Forecast high, still warm and still showery. Okay, models, boom, here we go. Okay, so this is, we're back at the HRRR. Let's go back again. Here we go. This is this morning. This is kind of going into this afternoon. Okay, and then into this evening, and it kind of stalls out, man. So Marin County, that flood advisory is warranted. Santa Cruz Mountains. This little stall is interesting. If it does that, we'll look at the other models. Let's get back to that. So here's 12Z Friday morning. So it's now moving out of the Bay Area, certainly out of Northern California, and now lingering in Southern California. And that's where the problems are going to be. Southern California, Thursday night late, tonight late into Friday. And look at this. And into Friday afternoon. And then again into Saturday morning. See Southern California? I mean, that's the bomb. I mean, that's the stuff. They're in. So that's, I think our rainfall will be beneficial. I think theirs is going to be beneficial after the first, and then after the first inch, it's going to become kind of nuisance because there's a lot of concrete in LA, and the rainfall we're already seeing with this system, the temperatures, the warm, moist air mass, and the positioning and the slowness of that underbelly lobe coming underneath the low and lingering. So same day, same stuff, just different model. This is the North American model, which does a nice job. Here we are now. And this afternoon into tonight, into tomorrow morning, LA, there you go. Into tomorrow mid-morning, into tomorrow afternoon, little break, and then it comes back in. Saturday morning, and now it looks aggressive as hell. I'm looking at Southern California, right? And then that is Saturday afternoon. It doesn't mean it's going to happen, but that's a lot of rain for LA, just because they're not getting a break. Look at Northern California. We got our rain. Okay. Oh, now we're drying out. And they pretty much, except for this period on Saturday morning, the models show them wet for most of the time. North American model. I thought that was a North American. Let me take a look. That is a North American. Okay, we'll look at it again. I think I doubled it down twice. And then this is the GFS. So you're going to see the global, the what do you call it? The vorticity and the elevation elevated jet stream. So here's the system. Here, let's go back. So here is, by the way, everything, here's the low, right in here. And everything on this side of the low, right here, that's where the energy is. And if you think about it, you ever stick your finger on a hose to make it spray? It's kind of what's going on here. The black line, see how it looks like spray? That's spray. It's not spray. It will be. In this map's not showing moisture, but this spray represents instability. So instability is going to spray aggressively in this front right quadrant, and still not as aggressive, but still be unstable in this area. So if you can remember that, I know I oversimplified, right? I know I did. Okay, and then let's see. So we go here, see the spray. So here's this morning. Actually, this model's bad timed up. Let's get right to the time here. 12Z. Oh, I see. It's 12Z model. Okay. So here we are this morning. Here we are this afternoon, right? And then watch Southern California. This is what's driving the surface forecast I showed you. This is upper air. And then this is Friday afternoon. And see LA right here? Look at that. Look at that. And then see it's followed rapidly by another system that dives down. And again, it does appear LA south of Point Conception is kind of in the spot here. Okay, so what you do on this is, it's been moving around so much, you just go day by day. But be ready for a bunch of rain in LA on Friday. Be ready for a wet day today in north of Point Conception, and a little bit into Friday, but mostly today. And then Southern California, you're wet Friday, tonight, Friday morning, Friday afternoon, Friday evening into Saturday, maybe a little beyond that. Here are the forecast accumulations. This is as of this afternoon, and you see the footprint. All right, let me go this afternoon right here. So that's the footprint. That's where the heavy rain is. That's where our atmospheric river sort of did its best work. So that's the forecast. That's accumulation. Now we're going to push forward. This is this afternoon. This is overnight tonight. What more is going to be added? LA's like, what are you talking about, Bill? There's nothing down here. 12Z Friday morning, 4/400ths of an inch, 1/10 of an inch. Santa Barbara's going, no, we get it. We got almost 2 inches of rain as of Friday mid-morning. And then Friday afternoon, it starts to move into LA. And then see, LA is the beneficiary into Saturday. Bullseye right there into Monday. I might be going too slow on this, but I'm just I'm probably trying to explain too much, really. But it's a pretty complex forecast. Usually they're not. Weather's complex, but you got a couple things going on here. You got a few things going on, and the models are struggling. A lot of times the models, they've been off all week. Just so you know, I mean, they were forecasting, snow on 80 and 50 by now, and it's not even close. Here is the same idea. I just wanted you to see how the West Coast goes. Seattle and Oregon, or Washington and Oregon, right? See the bullseye? This is for tomorrow morning. That's where the heaviest rain is through today. And that's what we talked about, right? Look at that watershed up around Mount Shasta, Lake Oroville, Lake Shasta, and then far north, San Juan Islands, and up in the Puget Sound. And LA is out of it, and then LA stacks into it as we go into Saturday afternoon into Sunday. See, and so that's the difference. So let's just take that footprint and go, okay, something's up, and that's the general footprint that we're going to work with. And how much ends up in that footprint, it's hard to say. This is Southern California close up. So this is Friday morning. Very little. Santa Barbara's an inch of rain tomorrow morning. And then it starts to come all day Friday into Saturday morning, Saturday night, Sunday morning. Look at that. 5 inches of rain. Look at that. 6 inches of rain. Okay, so I'm just looking at all this right. Okay. So right in here, you're right in Malibu. Well, you're more Santa Barbara-ish, but you're really in that area where there are burn scars and there's a lot of topography. So we'll keep an eye on that. Sorry, I'm not more definitive. I mean, at this point, when you're in it, it's like once something starts, you're just like, whoa, trying to catch up, right? And that's what we're doing. We're trying to catch up. What's really going on out there? Are the winds really 100 miles an hour? Because I haven't seen any. I've seen 60, 50. I've seen some big rain total, right? So you kind of have to look at everything and manage it. There's the low. Big deep low, and that's a bad boy. There's the motor, all the cold air. Okay. And then watches and warnings, all West Coast, all wind, mostly wind. Wind's going to pick up tonight, and that could be some issues. This is the below average temperatures, okay, and then above average rainfall for the desert Southwest and Central California, which kind of plays into that pattern we were just looking at, right? Okay. And then earthquakes. Whew. Oh, man. Yeah, I don't know if I go on those models, you guys. I just don't know. Part of me thinks I should. What we did in TV in the old day was I would just go, okay, here's what we got. And then I would work it all up beforehand. But I kind of want you to see how the sausage is made so you can make the sausage. Otherwise, it's just me going, okay, 38 years experience. Here's what I'm going to, this is what's going to happen. I never really ever said that, but I just showed you a lot of stuff. And you can decide what's going to happen, and based on what's happened in the past, where you live, and so on and so forth. These are the earthquakes, last 24 hours. Reds are in the last hour, which is always kind of fun. But it's just planets moving, man. Earth's moving. Crusts are moving. And oceans, surface, see the swell's coming up a little bit, west coast. There's Friday, there's Saturday. You see the storm centers fired up. That pushes swell, but it also is an indication of a very healthy storm track for us. Look at that. That looks pretty big on Thursday. So that's just, I like looking at that. This is, I think, Ocean Beach. Is it? I hate doing this to you. Yeah, Ocean Beach. And it's windy, but it's a side shore wind, which means it's kind of blown out, but it's kind of, we used to surf on side shores, but I wouldn't go out there if you pay me. But look what happens in Santa Cruz on a side shore wind, because they face south, right? Or not side shore. For them, Santa Cruz faces south, so it's the south wind. It's that thing I showed you up in the Trinity Alps, too. They're facing the wind direction, and so the swell just gets blown out. The rain is just hammering, this orographic lifting, and there's a full-blown onshore flow coming across Monterey Bay. So that's the difference. San Francisco, usually way stormier, but looks kind of manageable. Side shore, not as textured. That is a mess. That's Pleasure Point. This is Linda Pacifica, another place that faces a little bit, this place faces a little bit north. And so a south wind kind of goes side shore or even a little offshore. I got a little spot I used to surf up in this corner. I mean, you know where it is. And in the big storms, on southeast wind storms, big storms, stronger the better, and the wind blows straight offshore. And it gets hollow, tubular, in a place that you don't usually see tubulars. This is Palisades. It's raining up high. See if we can get to go. Okay, I didn't get it to go. Oh, there it is. Let's go. Let's make it go. It's raining. I know that. Come on. There it is. Rain, wind. There'll be snow up here by tonight, but that's, geez Louise, you're at 8,200 feet, 8,000 feet. It's raining. That tells you something. On the pass, this is Castle Peak. Raining pretty good up on that pass. I'm moving quick now because my machine cuts out at 28 minutes. Okay, and then we got, shut that down. Uh-oh. Well, we may have just shot our wads, so to speak. No, we're good. Yeah, it's not going to move off. Okay. I had some cool stuff to show you. Some I want to show you. I'm not going to have time to fix this. But there's a site on YouTube, and it's Surfline Live Cameras. And it's awesome. They take all their really good 4K cameras and the ones during the daylight hours. I'm watching it right now on my big screen. And it's your full 4K big screen. Right now I'm looking at Pacific City in Tillamook County, Oregon. I can see the south winds. The temperature is 52 degrees. It shows you everything you ever want. It's live pictures. It's Surfline YouTube, live camera stuff. So it's awesome. I had it up here for you, but damn I'm out of Caltrans right now because it's a Caltrans graphic. Okay, I'll see you back here tomorrow.